You're from Winnipeg? You write fantasy? Uh, you shouldn't bother trying to get a New York agent. It won't happen. Try to get a Canadian one, though. But good luck with that. Thanks. That was advice that was given to me by a well known author and at a reading when I asked for advice on getting published. And at the time, there were no Canadian agents who represented fantasy or science fiction. So, what was I going to do? How was I going to get from writing my novel, my science fiction? No, it was a fantasy. And how was I going to get it published if when all the major publishers only took work from agents? They didn't take unsolicited manuscripts. How was I going to get there if no one would represent me? What did I need to do to get there? Besides understand that advice was total bull, because there were many Canadian writers who write science fiction and fantasy that had American New York agents. I had to map out how I was going to get there. So today, I'm going to share with you why developing a plan and mapping out your writing journey will help you stay focused, get your writing done faster, and give you the confidence you need to get your work out the door and keep you motivated to stay on track. And I'm going to be looking at my notes today because I don't want to forget anything. And if you want to dive deeper into mapping your writing journey, just drop "I want it" in the comments and I will send you a link to a great free resource that I have that will help you walk through creating a journey that is specific to you and what you want and your needs. If we haven't met before, I'm Sherry, your novel writing coach. I love working with writers just like you to unlock their full creative genius so that they can write the stories they need to write, grow their readership, and level up their publishing game without guilt, self-doubt, and imposter syndrome. So, you know the kind of writing success that you want to have. You know what you want, what your end goal is. But how are you going to get there? You know it's going to take a lot of work and time and effort, and it can be overwhelming. So, when we map out what we want, when we map out our journey, it will help it gives you focus, it eliminates the overwhelm, and it means your progress is trackable. Let's think of it this way. If you're planning a road trip, writing is like a road trip for me. So if we're planning out the road trip, you know where you're starting, and you know where you want to go. Now, let's just say we're traveling from Winnipeg to Los Angeles. There's a lot of ways we can get there. And there will be times when my GPS will need to recalculate, but I need to map out how I'm going to get there. Am I going to go through Vancouver down south? Am I going to go straight across? How am I going to get there? I need to map out how I get there. So I need to plan out the stops along the way, and I need to know how far I can go each day to get there. When I do that, when I map out how I'm going to get there, it eliminates me thinking, oh, there's this road over here, I could take that detour, and I might need to take this detour. So you know where the stops are. You know where you're going to go. I need to write this amount per day, or I need to write this kind of book. It gives you that focus so that when other opportunities come up, you don't get as distracted. You know if they're going to work towards you, if they're going to help you towards your goal. The second thing it does, which is the big one, it eliminates that overwhelm. Writing a book, getting published, it's a lot of work. There are a lot of things that need to go into it. So it will eliminate that overwhelm. You can break it down by steps. You know where those stops are, where each step is. You know what your next right step is. You know, I need to write this kind of book. Once I've finished this book, then I need to find an agent. This is how I'm going to find one. And this is how I'm going to, or if you're self-publishing, you know how to look for different printing options or ebook options. And it gives you those steps so you can break it down into baby steps. so that you're not just looking at the whole big picture, which is when overwhelm happens. You start with, you can break it down into, what I'm starting to write for the first time to the end goal, break it down into baby steps. You can break it down into, I'm starting this novel from page 1. Now I need to know each draft I need to write to get to the end. You can break it down into each writing session from, each chapter, or how many words you're going to write per day to get to where you need to go. And then when you can do that, you can focus only on that little bit. That is all you need to do that day, and it breaks down that overwhelm. And finally, it means that your progress is trackable. There's a lot of work that goes into writing, as I've said, and there's a lot of work and time that goes into it before you get to that end result, and there's no guarantee of that end reward of publication or bestsellerdom or even your book selling at all. But you can track how far you've gone. You can track your progress so that you know that each step along the way that you are getting there, that you have accomplished what you need to accomplish. Tracking word count per day, printing out the pages, that's all great. It's very helpful to reward yourself to see what you have done. But also when you know what the bigger path is, what your greater path is, you can track, you can say, okay, so this is what I still have to do. So I'm still on draft 2 and I still have to finish 3, 4, 5. And then I still have to find an agent and I still need to do that. But I have taken all these classes, I've read all these books, I know all this stuff about writing the craft, and I'm on draft 2, so I've already got the messy, crazy first draft done, so now I'm fixing it up. I have come so far. And so it tracks your progress. And when you track your progress, it encourages you to keep going, but also you can see how far you've come, what you need to do, and it gives you that motivation to keep going because you know that you are on the right track. So that when those other opportunities come up, you can say, well, but I'm on this road. Is that going to help me? When you see other people publishing or talking about they were at a certain conference or they were at, a writing retreat, and you're starting to feel that FOMO, you can say, okay, but this is my writing path. This is what I need to do for myself. I've been doing a lot of, over the years with all my coaching and everything and doing some research lately, the more I talk to writers, the more I see we all have a separate writing path. And keeping your eye on your own writing path can be hard. And so when we map it out, when we figure out what it is that we need to do for our writing, it keeps us focused and makes the writing easier because we only have to focus on what we're doing in our writing path. So once again, if you want to dive deeper into creating a writing path and mapping it out, one that's perfectly suited just for you, drop I want it in the comments and I will send you a great free resource that I have that will help you get started on that and much more. So to recap, by mapping out your writing journey, you get to see what you have done and where you're going, and what you've already accomplished. It eliminates the distractions of other opportunities and that fear of missing out from what other people are doing. And it helps you keep focused towards your ultimate goal. It eliminates the overwhelm because you're breaking down the steps that you need to take to get to where you want to go, which makes it all that much more manageable. And finally, by knowing the steps you need to take, you get to see how far you've come and you get to see what you need to do, and it will encourage you to keep going, and it will give you the confidence because you know that you are doing the right thing to getting to where you want to go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Sherry, your novel writing coach. Happy writing.